I'd now like to invite on stage our moderator, Shashi Singh, Chairperson, Consortium of Women Entrepreneurs of India. Let us put our hands together as I welcome her on the dais. As a part of our panel discussion, we have with us Ms. Falguni Nayar, founder and CEO, Nykaa. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. Let's put our hands together as she steps on the dais. We also have with us Shradha Sharma, founder and CEO, Your Storia Media Private Limited. I know it's the last session, but I promise you, the women here are going to make it a very interactive one. So let's really put our hands together. I also have joining us on the dais, Ms. Dilafrose Qazi, founder, trustee and chairperson, SSM College of Engineering, Kashmir. We welcome you once again, ma'am. And Ms. Lekhi, founder and creative head, Baggit. Let's put our hands together for all our panelists and our moderator. All yours, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks E.T. and Deepa especially for giving us the opportunity of being here with you. Being the last session, I was just worried. I mean, I hope the whole doesn't, but I think those who are interested in the better halves or the half the population are all here. So it doesn't matter how many have gone out and how many are here. Let's, this session is going to be a little special because we have very eminent panelists, and though they're going to be talking about how their lives changed and how they changed the lives of other people. So we're looking at both, because see, women have both angles to look at, you know, they themselves plus they're game changers for the environment, the world, the social change as well. So I would make it a little more interesting so that we can have it more like a discussion. And we have with us Falguni Nayar, founder and CEO, Nykaa. And Falguni has been a successful banker for 2 decades. And then she started the Nykaa.com, which is the online retail for cosmetics and herbal products. So what we can do is I can ask Falguni to just initiate the subject of, see, we all know what women are, just because we are women, we are not entrepreneurs, we are all business women like everybody else, but there are certain challenges which we know because of the male dominated society which we've come from, and we've come a long way. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur since 1984, and that time when I was, and fortunately, I'm a product of EDI Ahmedabad, and but there was a lot of grilling which I had to, you know, because they were after us to start up something. And it was not just an EDP program, it was a program where we had to start our own businesses. And so, you know, I feel that it's all in the genes. I feel we all have something in our genes, but we need to show the way, or somebody else like a mentor has to show the way. And as the early panel, also the discussions was on opportunities. I think the opportunities come to you. I would say the challenges come and then you can make it an opportunity. So it's happened in many of our people. So let's look at it how challenges have become opportunities, or if people have helped you and supported you, let that also come out, because we are talking about mentorship also in some ways. So what are the policy changes we would need? How do we rise beyond where we are? And how do we bring others in the fold? And how do we work together complementing each other? So if that could be what we are talking, let's start with you and then we can go to interaction of other panelists. So Falguni.
Yeah. I personally feel that I'd like to say that I'm an entrepreneur first. I'm also a woman first, but I don't want to be recognized only as a woman entrepreneur, and I think it's a big injustice to be categorized like that. Having said that, if our experience can help other women feel more confident about the journey, then so be it. So I'm open to that. Having said that, one of the things I have to say is that I do feel that women hold half the sky, and as a result, every opportunity should be theirs, that they want it. If they don't want it, that's different, but if they want something, they should have equal opportunity to have it, and societal mindset of women can't do this, or societal mindset of, oh, why should two people in the house have risky jobs, and why should two people take risk, or any of those, or why should women have to not be out of the house long enough. I think none of those constraints should be there. So personally, I feel that women need to have equal opportunity, and fortunately I was born in a family like we saw in our previous, with this previous speaker. He was very inspired by his father. Similarly, my father always treated me as an equal, and that inspired me to always dream as an equal, and I'm really happy for it, because when time came to start my business, I did not hesitate. I wanted to start my own business, and I went ahead against a lot of popular belief that why do you want to start a business? Why do you want to work so hard? So I think what is important is that we get equal opportunity, and given equal opportunity, I think we can make it happen. I think with that, all I can say is that at Nykaa, I was a successful investment banker for many years, doing extremely well in my career. I did not have any need to leave that, but I saw a lot of entrepreneurs. I was inspired by their journey. I was inspired by the value creation that they do. In my mind, like from really being nothing, they create organizations that become self-sustaining. And I wanted to experience that journey. So I opted for it. I was at one point trying to think, what do I have to lose in a job that I'm giving up? What will I gain? And I said I should not look at it like that. I should look at it as a journey and an experience that will be unique. And whether, you know, whatever the destination could be New York or destination could be Africa, the gain will be similar because the journey would have been great. So with that kind of conviction, I went into starting an e-commerce business. I have a website where I sell beauty products online. Within a short span of time, it's grown and been recognized well. And we are now embarking on our journey to become a beauty brand, including have Nykaa branded products out there in the market. So it's been a great journey. Later on, I can talk more about the journey, but I just feel that wanting to do it and not feeling sorry about it and having the confidence that you can do it are the starting points. And I think every woman has a right to feel that they can do that. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think what she meant to say was, I think the success where you go is a journey, and it's a long journey. You have to enjoy the journey, and opportunities, are there. I would say the opportunity does knock at your door, but we have to keep our ears and eyes open all the time. And opportunities are changing. We have to change with times. That's very important, because my 20 years of my journey, I don't know how many ups and downs I've had, but I had to change with times. The times won't change, but I had to change, and that's how you will survive. So talking about the survivor, I think hats off to Dilafrose, who's braved the bullets in Kashmir. And from that background, she has started an engineering college and a polytechnic in Srinagar. So can I hand over to Dilafrose? I think she needs a big hand, a good applause, because she's a very strong woman.
Good afternoon. When we are talking about here as entrepreneurs, I would like to stick to the subject. The SSM college from where I belong to is not something bigger than what the institutions already here are. If I see the institutions which have grown up here in these 25 years, they have become the universities. And what about the SSM, what about the Dilafrose, why is she here, is definitely I think there are many aspects. One aspect, I come from a Kashmir where the atmosphere was hostile when I started this. When I gave a birth to this child, which is the college of mine, the same time the terrorism started there. So when they write, the people write about me, that Dilafrose has braved the blitz, is that my college got closed immediately when I opened it after a year, it got closed. The terrorist group came and they locked the college. The other challenge I would say was being a woman. Some people would take it as a woman, it's like we have to face many challenges, but I sometimes think it was a kind of as being a woman, an opportunity for me, because if it was any man, if the college was closed, nobody could dare to open the college. But since I was a woman, I just went there and I opened the college, I got the hammer, I, broke the lock, and those militants could not do anything to me, because being a woman, I got that concession there. I think that was an opportunity as a woman I had. At the same time, when we talk of, I don't know how you take it as an entrepreneurship, how will you name it? As you have to have a capital. I would like to give you small stories immediately, because I come from a very, very humble background. My father was a very, we were living hand to mouth, you can say. It was very difficult for my father to give a fee to me, we were two brothers and sisters. So when I thought of making this college, it wasn't college. I wanted to have a small kind of a institute where I could offer the cutting stitching program, or I could offer type and shorthand kind of things. So for that, when I started, I got 10 girls admitted in this college. So I'm raising the capital, I'm saying here, I would discuss that. So I had no money. I had taken 10,000 from my father, which he had saved for my marriage. 10,000 was a big amount. I talk of in 1988, for him it was a big amount. He had saved these 10,000 for my marriage. I just took this 10,000 from him. I didn't want to get married before I am settled somewhere. So I gave it to the landlord, from whom I got a building on rent this thing. So then I motivated 10 girls whom I got admitted in this small polytechnic, you can say. And after a few days, 10, 20 days, I did a fun fair, because these were all pretty girls from the very well-off families. I thought of how to raise this 10,000, because my father and my mother, they were crying and weeping at home. She took 10,000, ab kya hoga? 10,000 was a big amount. So I thought of doing a fun fair with these 10 girls. So these 10 girls, one of my friends, she got other friends, they got friends there, and then somehow we managed a fun fair, a big fun fair, which I cannot tell you, though it seems to you it's a kind of a story or whatever, but it is a fact. And believe me, God has put me always into a very tough trial. I just did this fun fair, whatever we spent, only 10,000 was the profit of that. Net 10,000 which I returned to my father. And from that day, it was a success. I did not, saw back. I just went ahead and doing things and things. And then I got married, my husband was kidnapped. I had to see those, I had to go to those hideouts, you call them hideouts. When I listen to the mark, whenever I would tell my story, the tears would roll down on my face, because, whole thing comes into my, eyes. So, but then when I saw him, how brave he is, so I decided, no, I should not. I should tell my story with a more smile. So what I'm saying is that the capital, if you have a fire within you, if you have a passion, you don't need a capital, you can create a capital. And today this college is one of the, you can say it's a very big college. We have about 4,500 students. We have about 6 disciplines in engineering, 6 disciplines in polytechnic. We have these PG courses. We have 4,500 students, which is not a joke. So today the money doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. For an entrepreneur, I don't think he looks after the money and this thing. I mean, you have a commitment then towards the society. I have come across such a things which is very difficult, because you've been sitting here since morning. So we have so many people to listen to. There are so many stories which could tell to the young entrepreneurs who were sitting a whole day there in the back. They have left so that I could give them those motivational things. Anyways, I can give it to her, because my story is a very long story. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. I think That's very, very inspirational. And the point which he made was that we should not say finance or credit is the most important thing. I mean, she started with just say 10,000 rupees, and where she's reached is really, really remarkable. So we do always say that yes, bankers are not very easy, the finance is not very easy, and yes, later on maybe you would need, but to start off, we can start with something small, and women usually do that. Women have started from the kitchen garden, they've started from their backyard, they've started with garages, and they've started small, but they have reached great heights. So I think that, and plus the social commitment which comes out of it, that when a woman is an entrepreneur, the whole family becomes an entrepreneur and the community becomes an entrepreneur. You know, because we tend to share. That's what my thing was. The second thing which I would, being in the field of entrepreneurship, is that each one teach one. When she talks about this, or when we are coming together, it's all about a group. It's never about an individual. I mean, especially when women think, that's what, I mean, say if I'm wrong, but usually we work in a team. And working in a team where people have collected money, or it could be for any other purposes, where she said that all of us pooled in money and got in together. So it is a teamwork which we are talking about. It's also about a commitment and the passion which she talked about. It's about a social commitment. So when we say game changers, I think we are the real game changers, and as I said that we hold up half the sky. We have really committed ourselves socially, morally, economically, politically to do the best, because it starts from the family, it starts with our children. That's the next generation we're talking about. So if we're entrepreneurs, it really gives strength for us to make better human beings. So with that, can I have the next panelist? We have, yes, and I have a very interesting thing to talk about. She's a college dropout. So we don't say that only toppers. I mean, we know Bill Gates and everybody does talk about being, so even a college dropout, but what is she? She thought of a brand that time when brands are now, but she talked about a brand, and her brand is Baggit.
Yeah.
So she will talk about how Baggit came into it. She's Nina Lekhi. So let's welcome her with a huge round of applause.
So I failed in my first year of college, and it was not even a college of commerce or science and stuff. It was just a polytech where there was only painting, and I was a very, very good student in school. So for me, failing was like, I should just go and die. There's nothing I can do now, because it hit me so badly. I wanted to do something to just make sure that I'm not, a failure. And that's when I started making bags right in college, and I've been doing that since then. There have been many challenges, and I think one thing that I followed is my heart. And way long back when we used to supply to Shoppers Stop and all of them, and they were always saying that you make goods for us and under our label. But at that time there was this kind of inclination, you'd call it, or just a thought that I want to go this way. And I think that's the gut feel that I've always followed, and I think that's just Gyan for you all. Thanks.
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you. So we'll be coming back to the panelists again, but our fourth speaker, we have Shradha Sharma, and she's got a lot of stories to tell you. So we hope it'll going to be interesting, but she has 22,000 stories. So let's hear a few words from each, and a hand to Shradha, please.
Thank you so much. Thanks. So, how I ended up in this panel. Deepa, where is she? She sent me a mail and she said that there is this entrepreneurship summit, and I was here in Delhi. I'm based out of Bangalore, and she said it's happening and come for it. I was very surprised that Economic Times has sent me an invite, and I was very happy. Chalo, theek hai. फिर जब मैंने बहुत, and then she followed up, because all of us are busy and we forget. तो अभी मैंने 2-3 days back I confirmed. Then she says it's a women's panel, and we'll have to talk on women entrepreneurship, and somehow very to me it was like, okay, how can I back out of this panel, right? Because somehow for me, I'll tell you, it's a very different context talking about women, and I have had a very strong opinion on panels and women and coming and speaking and all that, and if you are interested, you should read about it, because somewhere I just think that most of the panel related to women is relegated at the end of the day, and that women are supposed to come, and what do you talk, yeah? Either you say that, okay, as a woman, I'm trying to make things happen, or as a woman, how, but I think entrepreneurship, you know, to me, like everything else in life, is deep struggle, deep pain, deep tragedy, and it happens to men and women both. And witnessing 22,000 entrepreneurs and the stories that we've done, I've realized one thing, that sabko dukh jhelna padta hai. And the parameter of dukh is different. Of course, I can say, like, you know, my husband has a great saying, that bahar jhansi ki rani banti ho, jab bhi, you know, you want work done in the house, you say, oh my God, I'm a woman, yeah, please help me. Like, do this, you know, you're not opening the door for me, you're not doing this. Having said that, I can joke about it, because please understand, I think some of you must have read my profile. Like her, I have had a very deep, tragic, and painful upbringing and growing up years. But somewhere I realized one thing very early on. या तो मैं आपसे मिलूंगी और कहूंगी कि मैं कितनी दुखी आत्मा हूं, तो आप भी कहेंगे भैया ये तो भागो इससे. Or I can meet you and I say, and I can be the most happy and extraordinary and smiling and loving and positive person. Because as a child, you know, my mother had taught me one thing, जो कि आप सब जानते हैं और हम सब जानते हैं, अभी श्री मोदी जी मलेशिया जाके या थाईलैंड जाके हम सबको फिर से जन्माए. You know, the thing which I loved was, and I think it holds true for everyone, what Shri Swami Vivekanand had said, if you want to be happy, make others happy. And I think as entrepreneurs, as people, as individuals, we have so much of pain, so much of struggle, so much of tragedy, so much of everything. So to be happy, I think it's therapeutic, it's very selfish if you can make others happy. And that's what I follow. For me, your story is therapy for my own soul. 22,000 stories of entrepreneurs keeps me smiling, keeps me going. And I want to tell everyone in the room, after this, once you leave this hall, it's very bad traffic, it's very tragic, and it's very frustrating. Like, it just took me 1 hour to just come here. And when you are in that traffic, just think about it, like when you are WhatsApping or messaging or romancing and wanting to abuse someone, just say something nice and you'll feel very therapeutic. And to me, I'm here, I'm standing. I hope all of you know, one thing I also want to say, follow your passion, because I got investment by Shri Ratan Tata and all the other investors after 7 years of doing your story. And I think I got it not because I was doing some rocket science. I got it because I think I'm happy. And I'm happy because I make people around me happy. I am successful because I had no business model. I think I'm a prodigy of Times of India only. And नहीं कुछ था नहीं, बस passion और पता नहीं ये सब psychopathic visions थे. And 1 or 2 years, people used to say, what's your business plan? Write down your business, ye wo. I didn't even know. I was so scared of all those kind of things because you just don't think about those things. But just keep being crazy, keep loving yourself, keep loving people around you, and you are going to be sitting in a panel like this after many years and having a sense of humor and feeling happy. So that's my saying. Thank you so much.
Very nice. I think he said everything in one word. That, see, because I think positive gives away positive feelings. All your positive vibes, and it makes it stronger and stronger, and you spread the positiveness around you. But if you're mellow and you're subbing, I mean, not many people will come around you. They say, we already have so much of sorrows, and you know, another sorrow, man. So I think the positivity, I think what we take away is positivity. I think the passion, the enthusiasm, and she said, I mean, it was just a blind date. I mean, she didn't have a business plan or anything. So let's not get bogged down by all these entrepreneurial jargons of, you know, yes, the banks do want a good profile. They do want all those paperwork. that really bends us down, and that's where the problem really starts. So I would ask the panelists to, let's come up with something very innovative where we can tell the policymakers, I'm on the board of the Ministry of MSME, I can also put it across to them, that what is it that the women, we're not asking for anything like a reservation. We're just saying equal opportunities. So in the equal opportunities, what is it, one maybe takeaways from all of you, हम अपनी policy में क्या डालें where more and more women can join the bandwagon, because definitely the country needs every woman to start earning. Now it's a complementary area where both have to complement each other. It's not just one man show where the man earns and the woman sits and cooks at home. So it's not, it's changing. So if I may ask, what would you want a policy change in the Indian government's new policy plan?
I will say,
Yeah.
1 hour of class for every man in their offices or wherever, nothing to do with women. Women should not even demand anything or say anything, it should be men, and they should have once a week or once a month a class on gender sensitization.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think a woman like me can sit here, roam around, and I'm traveling throughout the year and just gallivanting and doing whatever I feel like, because I think the only thing I did right is marry right at the age of 19. So you have to have a man at home who's very smart, who is secure, and all those things learning, I think men have to do, because women are extraordinary any which ways.
Oh, wow. So marry right.
Yeah, I can also add to that, I also married my batchmate, and from the beginning, I think when I had little kids and I used to leave them and go away for an early morning presentation to Ahmedabad, and my son was crying for like maybe half an hour after I left, he never stopped me. He always treated me like a professional and gave me advice based on what was right as a professional, rather than like, okay, his kid's mother and I should sit at home and be with him. So I think that type of support at home is very necessary for women to be able to pursue what they really love and want to do.
Yeah. So very rightly what she said, one I would say is gender sensitization. So I think all the male members who are here, and yes, it's right, it starts from there, that if they are sensitive towards problems, I'm sure the women are going to be sensitive towards their problems. And she said that
these men are very sensitive. That's why they're sitting here.
Yeah, and that's what I said, that the people who really appreciate the women entrepreneurship are here, and so it doesn't matter who have gone out or not, who are not there. So claps to all the men who are here, they are here to listen. So that was very nice, that you need backup support. So you need the external environmental support for a woman to really grow and nurture. Because yes, we've always been depressed and, I'll come to you. So the environment is very important, your social setup is very important, your immediate family members are very important, of course, your partner is very important. And I fortunately also would give my mother-in-law really pushed me to become an entrepreneur. I didn't know I'm a first generation entrepreneur, I didn't know what it meant, but she said, you go, I will look after your children, so I hats off to her also, I would praise it. So can we have another policy?
I would say like my challenges are entirely different. I come from a place which is a very conflict area or whatever hostile area. And when I see the men when they are empowered, whether you see men in the uniform or men without uniform holding the guns, so they feel they are very, very empowered. So what I have seen is that as a women, we are sensitive, we are mothers. We have many challenges. We have to save our sons, we have to save our brothers, we have to take care of our husbands. As a woman, we have many, many challenges. I do not want to, it's a different forum altogether here, is that men have to somehow change the attitude. It's not only towards the women. Women are insecure, like you see the Chhattisgarh, what has happened. We have not only those, men, even men are insecure in the hands of the men. There are many things. So I don't know how much time it will take in India to change the men's psyche. Men have to change and it will be a real developed country. Men have to change, that's what I can say in many ways, because we don't have time whether we can talk more about this. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I would like to add to what she said, because I was in Kashmir also for promoting the women artisans there, and it was very unfortunate that when I had gone last, it was little different from what the young people who were driving us, because they've all become drivers or they own cars and they drive as tourists. The young people I was trying to talk, I was trying to ask them, how do you see the change and what do you see India as and all. And they said, we don't want our women to go out. We don't want our girls and sisters to go out. And he pointed out that lady, and she was an elderly lady walking on the street. I don't want any of the girls to do that. So I said, what's wrong? She's a mother of somebody who's going to buy some vegetables from somewhere. What's wrong in walking? She said, no, we will protect them. They have to sit at home. This is just very recently and that boy, I looked at him, I said, if this younger generation is talking like this, I mean, what she's saying is right, that the men have to understand that what she is doing outside, I mean, they probably have learned things from outside, or what they're seeing, God knows, is it the media which is playing a negative role? But I mean, I just kept quiet. I didn't know how to ask him, because he said, they have to be in burqa, they can't show their hands, they can't show their feet except their eyes. I mean, young boy of maybe 25, he was talking like that because I was driving a car. So I know what the grave problem which it is, and we have to think about something, how we can change that. It's not going to be very easy, but there are other people who've come out. I mean, especially the women are coming out because they have to survive. And we talked about survival of the fittest. So we have to survive. If we have to survive in whatever conditions the women can survive. Hook or by crook, we do survive. So, but I'm talking about how can we change? Can we bring in some law? Can we bring in some policy? Or can we bring in some kind of a system where, we can help you with this kind of an atmosphere and try and change it? Let's think aloud. I think that would be the takeaway from the panel, and we can see how we can implement it with you there, so that the change does come in.
It's a very wider issue. I don't want to discuss on this. We should better confine to the entrepreneurship only. Women should be given many concessions, like we have not. I don't ask for special concession like the banks. We were talking. Banks have 2.5 lesser rate they are charging than from the men. It's a very good move, and overall, women as a fathers, as a sister, women should be allowed to go out and take. That's all. I don't think we should have some special concessions. This is. I think we are doing well. We are going with them. I mean, क्या बोलते हैं, कंधे से कंधे मिलाकर चल रहे हैं. तो we are not lesser than men. We should not be given some special concession.
Very good.
In that case, no, we are doing very well.
Yeah?
No, we're doing very well, and we are more stronger than the men.
Look at that.
We are more stronger than the men. I believe me. Women are very, very stronger than the men.
Coming from
I'll tell you one thing. Had it been my husband, the circumstances we faced, many times he said, okay, we will leave and we'll go from here. We'll leave the college, we'll leave everything. It was only me who gathered all the courage, and I was there. I faced all. Whenever militants would come to our place, and I'll come out to the door, I'll say, my husband is not there, and tell me, what do you want? What do you have to do? Women are more stronger than the men, and men have their own. They surrender many a times. Women don't. So I don't think we need any special concessions for that.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have something if you
So I think,
gather from here?
I think the men are smart. They'll realize that the woman is earning, also taking care of the house. So what's the problem? You might as well allow her to get out of the house, earn a lot more, have a lot more in your life. And I think the women are actually, even I agree. I mean, we are far more capable than the men, absolutely. And it's just that the expectation for the woman is to sit at home and take care of the house and blah, blah. If the mother-in-laws would support, if the husband would be on her side, obviously she can manage all of it. And I think women naturally are multitaskers. Men are generally just focused on one thing, and women are fab.
Yeah, so what we, I think the common agenda which came out is that we all are very confident, we can survive, and if we have the confidence, we can do it. But once we've started, I would like to bring in the panel again on the next step. How do you grow? So when an entrepreneur, women or man, I mean, what are the 4 pillars we talk about nowadays? Is that when you start an enterprise, it's technology, of course it was finance, it's the market, it's your raw material and things. Of course, it may not be for your stories. For your stories, it would be your ideas. But for businesses, I mean, when we're talking about entrepreneurship in general, when it's a business we start. So I'm sure you as a banker would have faced, and we know when we go to the bank how it is. I mean, even the sensitization of the bankers is very important. I don't know if the bankers are here, but earlier we did have concessions for women to come up. But as we were talking, is it, I mean, it's open to the house also. Do you think there would be a rate of interest rebate for women? Do you agree with it or not? Or if women pay up on time, or even if men pay up on time, can you get a percentage rebate rather than, you know, those NPAs which the large companies are creating and the small companies are paying up and, you know, the banks bear the loss? So I'm just giving you a little thought provoking thing that you as a banker, how would you see that women, should they get concessions or not?
See, there are a lot of small businesses which are done by women, and I think if they are given special rate of interest, it's fine. But if it's a large institution which has been set up by women, it should be on the same footing as other institution, because anyway, like, you know, then otherwise everybody will start putting women chairmen so that they get concession rate of interest or something. I don't know how to define a large company where, like in my company, there are a lot of men working, and so is it a women's specific enterprise? So I think, but yeah, for really small business initiatives that women are starting, they should be given concessional rate of loan. But I think more than concessional rate, I think the bank finance nowadays is not coming. So if you are taking a word, I think as entrepreneurs, you please take the word, because banks have changed in India over the last couple of years, and they're just not ready to lend till a company is much bigger. So let the bank finance first be available, I personally feel, rather than concessional rate of interest. But what I want to bring here is that I think there are certain, it's not a criticism or anything, but I've seen certain weakness amongst women. One is they are not very good at negotiating, and they go on a back foot on commercial negotiation. So I think if there could be institutions that teach them these skill sets, which they are a little bit underdeveloped, you know, maybe because they've not done it for many years. I mean, they're in general good at negotiation, but somehow in a commercial negotiation, I find that a lot of women just take a, you know, they just go back, you know, they don't negotiate hard enough. And I also feel that similarly, they keep thinking that they don't understand technology. I keep hearing, I embrace a tech-centric business, and a lot of women say, oh, I'm good at marketing, but I don't understand finance, or I don't understand marketing, technology. But I think they can be supported a little bit with maybe courses that, you know, it can be just like short courses or something which can help them be more confident about this. Because once, I used to be like, I mean, you know, I used to, before I went into technology, I used to say, oh, my Wi-Fi never works, my this doesn't work, my this doesn't work. And I think just a little bit on the other side, having experienced it, you feel empowered. So I think there could be some of that.
Yeah, so that is, we must get the money on time, the credit should be timely, and I would put in another word, adequate. Because if we ask for 1 lakh and if we get 50,000, I mean, that's where, you know, it goes backwards. So it's adequate money at the right time, which we need. And the second point which you made is very, very relevant, is that the women don't, you know, have the knowledge. They don't have the information, what is their right. I have felt that, you know, women are sometimes charged very high rate of interest. The negotiation is that when they know their thing, they can go and negotiate, yes, this is what, this is it, why have they overcharged us? And banking system is little tiresome and difficult, paperwork is so much, so usually they go to the CAs and get it done, and they pay money for making their form, filling up their forms and things. So the women have to be trained, and usually the EDP courses do train women, short training courses where they know how to negotiate and even to, you know, talk about their project. You have to do your homework. You should know your project very well, because the bank is lending public money, so they want to safeguard their interest as well. So the point is that how will you satisfy that the money which is given you is going to be repaid back? That's what the bottom line is. So you have also faced problems with the bankers Have they given you money on time?
No, when we started earlier, we asked for 4 lakh rupee loan. They didn't give us. Now this time they want to give as much as they want because they know where we are. This time the zonal officer will come, ma'am, you take a loan from, because we have a bank in the campus only. The other banks also come, ma'am, give us the space here in the bank. And now all the banks will come, will give you the lower interest, you bank with us. You know, it's all up to what you are. When you are nobody, nobody comes to you, when you are nobody. But for budding entrepreneurs, they will definitely face the difficulties. There are the difficulties as we faced initially. I think as a woman, as she's saying that you put it in a very, that they should be given the training, they should know what they want, and they should be techno-savvy, whatever, that's your right. That's all we have to.
Yeah, so I agree. Even I have a block. I'm not so good at finance. I was not so, and because right from childhood was being told, "Arey, what do you have to do? You have to just go and cook over there. You're going to get married. What you want to learn? What you want to study?" Was stuff like that was always told. Or if you know, it's okay if you don't understand how to put on the gadgets in the house, and your brother or some male member. But I think now we all have a different outlook, and everybody is so much into technology. I think all the women have all the great gadgets and. Changed.
Yeah. So women have basically, for the banker, the women had to prove on the first thing that yes, they are, you can bank on them really, and they are good paymasters. So the proof of it is when you have really gone a long way, that means you prove that yes, you can do business. So because that's happened with me, it took me a year to prove that yes, I am a proper, I'm a good intentioned entrepreneur, and I will pay back your money. The second point which slightly you missed out on was collateral. You know what happens is when you go to the bank, they want collateral security. So when a woman goes, I mean, they ask you who's behind you, third party, the husband, the family, what are the collaterals you write? But we don't know that we have collateral free loans now. Women are not supposed to, or even for men, I think for 25 lakhs there is, and the 50 lakhs also there is a, if somebody is talking about the CGTS MSME scheme, the credit guarantee fund, which is the government fund which they have put, and where the banks are supposed to give you the margin money, and the whole credit guarantee system is there, which is in place, given to SIDBI. SIDBI then offers it to the bank to pay you the thing. So collateral is not required, but very few women have really got collateral free loans. Very few women, and especially the larger companies do not, because they say that you have to get a guarantee or collateral guarantee. But that has been one of the deterrent, and so the joint liability groups and the self-help groups which we are promoting, where women are all equity partners, so they don't need collateral, because all groups together have put in their money and put it that as an equity, that becomes your margin, and then the banks give you. So there are these schemes which have come very proactively for women entrepreneurs, and we have to make use of it. We have to understand what schemes are there, and the RBI guidelines are there.
No, we have a loan. Yeah, we have a large loan. We were just saying that at the early stage, when you need the loan, it doesn't come by, and then once the business proves itself, then everyone wants to lend to you. You also have enough collateral.
Yeah. So the initial startup is where the problem is. Once you proved, then yes, everybody will come forward that this is a good company and thing. So that startup is where we're talking about angel investors in the venture capital fund and things like that. There we need all of you to come, and help us out. So finance, then what would we say for an entrepreneur? Yeah.
Why we are talking about all these things, it's true for men as well as for women.
It's for both.
Why we are saying that this, education related to technology, related to finance should be there for women only. Why not men?
No, we're not saying. We're not saying.
If we're talking about policies, so then probably, women, the talent will stay at home. Like a lot of people who do not have support system at home and they have to sit at home because they do not have in-laws staying with them. So once they have kids, they have to sit at home. So there should be some policies for them. If they want to start up something new, there should be something for them which should come up. And education related to such policies. That these policies are there are loans which are available. That needs to be, that awareness needs to be created. That is not there. I think that's where we are lacking, and people are not aware of those policies. So, having policies separately for women, I don't think so that's required. We are all equal, as all of us are saying, we are stronger than men. So then I think it's just the awareness which has to be created. And I think the path for people who want to get into entrepreneurship, men or women, it has to be little smoother. They should be told that there are these policies which are available. So maybe there should be some ads or something, seminars. I'm sure they are happening, but they should be at a frequent this thing.
Yeah.
I think that needs to be there. That's what is my opinion.
Yeah.
From finance.
I think a point was right about the awareness. I mean, a lot of women don't have awareness of how
Finance
to go about it.
awareness and, a knowledge program.
Can I ask you a question? So I have a large organization. I have about 700 people in head office. We have a gym in house. But many times I've thought, I want to have a creche or something where, because I understand, I have gone through the same thing. I have a 15-year-old daughter today, but I know how it was, and because it was my organization, I could take her, I could take all the stuff. But then how do you manage schooling? How do you manage all the stages of... So it's a little bit more complicated than just, so if you could say that the government should give facilities, have a creche, have a gym in every office, which is X amount of size.
This happening, you go to lot of corporates, they have crush, they have all of these things available there. However, if there could be some policies around it further, that if the women are coming and working and they have kids, after that, their promotions go slow, they do not get promotions, they do not get holidays, all of that. I think the things needs to be worked there because they need to support their house also, they need to support their work also. So policies has to come around that area. We need to have creche in the office. Can we make it mandatory that if a corporate lady is working and once she has a kid and she doesn't have a support system, it has to be there in the office itself. It should be mandatory for large corporates or maybe for smaller as well. So those kind of things I think are required. But apart from that, having like separate thing, कि हमें interest rate कम दे दीजिए और उनको ज़्यादा दे दीजिए, I don't think so. All of that is needed. That's what is my opinion.
No.
She needs to ask a question. No, but I think she was first in the queue, I think.
I would like to come in here since we are discussing a very important point for women empowerment. Women as game changers.
Game changers.
Yeah, so I feel that we have wonderful examples of great women entrepreneurs such as Zivame, and Flipkart is also doing a lot of women-oriented policies which are coming in. And you guys on the stage, you yourself are examples of great women game changers. So what I understand from the discussion is that it's about entrepreneurship, and so entrepreneurship is a trait. It is regardless of the gender, right? All types of entrepreneurs face similar challenges. You will have at least 5-10 near-death experiences, like Shradha had mentioned, near-death, sad stories, your own tragedies. Really screwed up love life and marriage life and all those policies not going in favor. So I believe that entrepreneurship per se is a trait which everyone has to fight it together, and not a gender specific problem. Absolutely. And so it has not stopped. If you are a woman and trying to go and pitch to 10 investors, of course 9 of us would anyways get rejected. If your idea is so damn brilliant, it will get funded. I'm sure of that. Also, men also get rejected, right, equally. So I think women and men are like totally awesome people, but it's also entrepreneurs who are like super people.
No, absolutely. I agree to your point. It's like saying that, generally about VC and many stereotypes, which is like women get rejected. I think it's also so many biases, right? So like I would say, one is woman bias. Second is we are sitting in Delhi, there is a Bihari bias, right? Agar bolenge, अगर आप किसी इन्वेस्टर के सामने मेरे हिंदी से जैसे हम बोलते हैं बोलिएगा तो कहेंगे अच्छा मतलब लालू लैंड, राइट? So many biases. Then there is this someone who's not dressed properly. Is this person cool enough with to मतलब biases हर चीज में. But if we start thinking about all those things that कितना challenges है और कितना है तो कुछ नहीं होगा यार. Like because every entrepreneur has to face SHIT.
I just want to add a point
no
here.
option.
So my name is Kanika. I had a small portal called Go Diverse. It's a job portal for women and disability. And of course, I come from industry. I've served long years, and now I've recently, last 1 year, made this transition. So I have a lot of friends and bosses and ex-colleagues, and it was great, of course, working with them. And now when I approach them, because they're all heading businesses, they're business directors and CEOs. So one of them I recently went to and I said, would you be keen that if you have a meritocratic role and between a man and a woman, if you'd like to choose a woman to take that role, because there are lots of women, talented women out there, and if, they could find a job. So he says something very interesting to me. He says, औरतों के साथ क्या problem है? कवारी जब होती है उनको लो तो शादी कर लेती है, शादीशुदा का लो तो pregnant हो जाती है, and then the organization has to go through it. Now, this is not one standalone thing that I've heard from people when I go and pitch, and often I'm trying to give them examples why women are talented, and because of various reasons of family and children and childbirth, husbands' postings, they tend to move out. And if in some way, as forget business-like, but even as CSR, we talk so much about it, why can't we create more jobs and illuminate lives forever? But these are real pushbacks that I get back from people saying, they can't do this. It is getting so difficult. When I started out, I thought it would work out. And a lot of people do a lot of lip service. So they're very different to you on face of it. When it comes to actually giving away a job to a woman, even if she's meritocratically as brilliant or similar, it doesn't work out. Any thoughts from you guys?
I want to tell you, very pertinent, very correct, and that's why I don't want to get into women panel only, because see, these are facts. This is what you will face, and then these are going to happen. My only thing to something like this is that when you think of it as an aberration, that why are people questioning or why are people saying, क्यों ऐसे बोल रहे हैं, मतलब ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं? जब आप सोचने लगेंगे, then I would say you're getting into a zone, and the zone will only go. So the thing is, I would say take it as an amazing challenge, because you are having someone else who has males only. You have actually created a category, jobs for women, and you're actually dealing with a bias. You know that this is a great opportunity because upscaling here is much higher. I would say then every success that you have will be extremely phenomenal, right? But my only thing is, see, मतलब यहाँ पे बात करके पैनल वैनल से कुछ नहीं होगा, क्योंकि ये सब नॉर्मल है, राइट? ड्रेस भी पहनेंगे कैसा है, बाल भी ऐसे है, अभी इतना टॉफी खाई जा रही हूँ उसमें भी है, मतलब everything is an issue, and somewhere the point is, do you get blindsided or do you say that hey, this is my focus? एक हिंदी में कहावत है, हाथी चले बाजार कुत्ते भौंके हजार, वो जिंदगी में हर चीज में होता है, मतलब everywhere you will face that, and when we start wiring it, hey, is it because I'm a woman? Of course, I had a issue. Like I really had an issue because many times I thought, oh, maybe I'm getting this is because I'm. Yeah, मैंने सोचा कि नहीं, हर चीज में हो सकता है. So it's a great opportunity. You will be a phenomenal person. More men like that you will meet. जो ये story तुम्हें सुनाएंगे, एक साल बाद you will see what a phenomenal, enriched person and successful person you'll become. Right?
We have to give it a chance.
Yeah.
1 sec, we have to give it a chance.
Yeah.
We'll treat that as the last question.
It's blinking, yeah.
Within this panel, I think none of you have co-founders. Why is that? Not in the lead, or what's the story behind not having a co-founder in your company or your journey?
I can quickly give an answer to this. Is when I started Your Story in 2008, I was working in CNBC in Bombay, and like a mad person, I went to everyone and said कि मेरे साथ कर लो. तो कोई कहे कि अरे क्या है, मतलब ये story, मतलब I have a joke, सबको सुनाती हूँ, बहुत intense talk हो गया. तो मैं ऐसे ही party में जाती थी और कहते थे, अच्छा what do you do? And I used to say, I do Your Story. So what do you do during daytime? I do Your Story like all the time. तो वैसे एक साल तक भटकी, तो कोई मिले नहीं, और जो अच्छे लोग थे उनको मैं फंसाना भी नहीं चाहती थी, बिकॉज आई वॉजंट वेरी क्लियर कि पैसा बनेगा, कुछ होगा या नहीं होगा, बिकॉज इट वॉज मैडनेस. So, but now do I feel the need of a co-founder? Yes. So now with the funding, I'm hiring most of the senior people in my team are elder to me, very, very senior and extraordinary. Ab lagta hai ki, and they are like co-founder, and maybe one of them I will give a designation of co-founder. It can come at any cycle, right, of life. So, yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe that gentleman, the last question, because the time's blinking here.
Yeah.
Can you give the mic, please? Okay, we can hear him then. अच्छा, आप आगे आके थोड़ा सा बोल दीजिए. Come forward.
Hi, my name is Dev, and I represent Economic Times, and it was very interesting to know all your stories, all your journeys, and the haves and don't haves, and the strengths and weaknesses between both the sexes. Very interesting, but I'd like to bring it back to business, and I'm sure each one of you, I don't know how old your businesses are exactly, but started it somewhere down the line, have grown it to an extent, and do have a plan. So I would like to hear from Ms. Nina, who's from Baggit. Where you headed? What's your plan next? Where do you want to take Baggit to?
Okay, so I have very, very big dreams. I don't think this is working. Can you hear me?
Why are they not working?
Maybe the time is over. That's why. So I have huge plans with Baggit. We're starting a new Nina Lekhi range recently. It's going to hit the stores next week. So I'm creating one more brand, which is going to be more niche, more limited edition kind, because now we are more premium mass. Secondly, we're also getting calls from international, from New Zealand, from Kenya, for stores abroad. And my dream is, because I've traveled so much in all these years, and used and given so much of my currency in pounds and dollars to all these countries, and my aspiration is to get it all back and to get our currency also on an equivalent.
So, I don't know how I'm going to sum it up, but I think we're all together on the same page, the audience and the panelists, and we think that there should be no gender bias. We both genders together working hand to hand. We're complementing each other in all the parts. The only thing is, yes, a little bit of push is still required for both men and women, but women, yes, a little more, because we've been submerged and drowned in some. If you really go to the rural pockets where I travel the most, is that they don't have opportunities. So let's not just sit here on this and say we all have opportunities. They've not been given opportunities, although they're wiser than us. So the knowledge is also different, what kind of knowledge we are sharing with each other, because and they have to understand, we have to tailor-make the packages for them. India is such a large country. So the policy change is right there, and that they have to have the feel, the policy makers or the Niti Aayog should have the feel of kiske liye ban raha hai, kyun ban raha hai, aur kiske tak pahunchega, and we have to deliver it. So basically this, the consortium is channelizing all this to reach the neediest. So if we say, here we can say, yes, we are all equals, but nahi hai, disparity hai. There is disparity, all kinds of disparity, whether it's wage disparity or gender disparity or even knowledge disparity. I mean, the girls don't go to school and the boys go to school. I mean, it's still happening. So that sea change has to take place, and we are the change makers. I think, we are the ones who are thinking alike. Men, women, we're thinking alike. But how do we make things happen where we all come under same platform? So we want everybody to be on the same platform, and that's what we've been all talking about. So I think that would be the takeaway from this panelist. So can we thank all
very
of you,
rightly
thank you for your patient hearing.
Yes, very rightly said, ma'am. Women, the game changers, and you summed it up so beautifully. Thank you so very much. Let's put our hands together for our moderator and our panelists. And once again, may I request the presence of Ms. Sandhya. I promise you some great networking tea. Please bear with us a couple of more minutes as I welcome Ms. Thar on stage yet again to thank our panelists and our moderator for the session. Thank you, Ms. Sharma. Pleasure indeed.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Ms. Nayar, thank you so very much, ma'am. Of course, our moderator, Ms. Singh. Let's put our hands together yet again.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Qazi, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much. And may I request all of you to join us for a group picture?
Where's Deepa? I think Deepa should come for bringing us all together.
Yeah, Deepa, since you put in all the hard work, you're requested on the dais.
Don't disappear. Come. Everyone in the audience can also come. They have also been here. They should also be here.
Yeah, actually everyone in the audience is going to join us for a networking tea and coffee, and all those who didn't get an opportunity to put up questions now, you're more than welcome to do so while we're enjoying tea and coffee. I'd once again like to remind all our guests to please fill up the feedback form. We truly appreciate your presence here, and as I thank each one of you, I'd also like to thank our partners, our associate partner, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Ahmedabad, the Union Bank of India. I'd also like to thank our gold partners, Small Industries Development Bank of India, our online media partners, SME Join-Ups, FAQs.com, the PropertyTimes.in, and our live webcast partner. Once again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being a part of the Economic Times India Entrepreneurship Summit 2015. Thank you.